Alright, so let's get right into this. The first major tip I have for people is just simply paying attention. You'd be surprised how many people don't use their radar or simply just don't pay attention to sounds or anything like that. Let me be clear, sound is your biggest help in this game. Now, there are no vertical sound things, so to say, which means that if you're sitting up here, for example, you're sitting here and then there's a guy under you, it will just sound like he's next to you. You won't be able to tell that he's under you, or if like you're down there and someone's up here, you won't be able to tell that they're above you. Obviously you can, because you know, context clues and nobody's in the room with you, so they must be below you. However, if you go into a building on, let's say, like desert and there's 2 stories, you won't know if they're above or below. Sound is the key factor to a lot of things, and sound is very useful. Like here, listen real quick. Do you hear the sound I'm making on this floor? That's pretty unique, right? And then you go here. These sounds are very different. So let's say you're coming into this room and you hear those metal footsteps. And like you're coming in, you hear metal footsteps, you don't hear this. You just hear the metal. You don't even need to pay attention to there, because from here you can hear over there. If your sound is up a little bit, you can hear if they're coming through there, they're there. You hear the metal, you instantly come here and peek. It saves you time. You don't have to waste time looking over here and potentially getting shot from stairs, but that is a major key. Next up, head glitching. A lot of people still don't know what head glitching is, which kind of surprises me, but we're going to go over it quickly. So, head glitching is where you only show your head to limit the amount of space they could shoot you. Now, a lot of people are like, oh, they can see your head, that means they'll do the most damage if they hit you. That's true, but in certain cases, let's say you're sitting right here and you crouch down, they can only see your head mostly, but if they shoot your body, they have to go through this wall and they will do less damage. And a lot of people, they will kind of panic and just go for the body anyways, so that's usually in your advantage. Head glitching is really important. Like I said, you can crouch right there. Instead of sitting here looking like this, just crouch down. Now it's only your head. You have a little bit more struggle of hitting them, but so do they. So once you get used to it and you get your accuracy decent, this helps in your benefit a lot. Because let's say someone's right there. All you have to do is just have decent accuracy and you're good. Or if someone's right there, again, same thing, decent accuracy, you're fine, and most of the time, they won't be able to hit you. Third, I want to make this one very clear because I even do this to this day, and it's kind of just a habit, and it's hard to get rid of. I reload after every kill, basically. So, like, unless I'm shooting at someone, I see someone immediately in my view, like, let's say I kill someone here, and there's nobody else in my view, I'll reload right away. And it's a bad habit. Another thing is reloading around corners. Let's say there's a guy sitting here in this corner just waiting. You don't know he's there, he hasn't moved, you haven't heard any footsteps, but you know that your team doesn't have control of purple in here. So you come down here, let's say you shoot right here, and you start reloading, and you come in here like this. You had a full second still of straight up reloading, and obviously you can cancel your reload, but let's say you're like 2 bullets. You come in here, you see him, you cancel, and then you're out of bullets, you don't kill him, you have to pull out your secondary, you die. Happens all the time. You need to make sure that you're always paying attention to your bullet count and when you are reloading. If you kill someone here, let's say you peek here, you kill someone, run back, just quickly slide and reload here, and then you can just slide back over here. It's pretty simple, and it does help you a lot. You will die a lot less if you are a lot more careful with your reloads compared to if you're just reloading around a corner and not caring, or if you reload quickly here, and then you, let's say you slide in and clear the room like that. So next up is movement. Sliding, very important. I'm going to show you guys why sliding is very important, and people don't really realize, in my opinion, that movement is something that you kind of develop your own style for over time. Now, there are little simple tips and tricks, but I'll go over quickly, and we're going to do that real quick. So sliding. If you come out of a room like this and go to peek, you go and you peek and you expose yourself to all that, and they will see you right away. It's kind of hard to hide yourself. But with sliding, if you come out, hold shift while running. So shift W, press C and control, and obviously don't go that far, but like this. If you stop yourself here, chances are they won't even notice you coming out right there. And if you do it correctly, they won't be able to see you at all, because you'll be too low for them to see from like right back here or something. So if you run and you slide out like this, you won't be seen, and then you just crouch. Do not fully stand up, because then you're going to expose yourself a lot. Come from here, crouch, pre-aim it. It's not that hard to tell where things are. You can at least get in the area of it. Don't be looking like this and then crouch and stand up and then snap over. Pre-aim it. Say they're at the close right escalator. You look here, and that's basically where it's at. You're laying here, let's say they're at the back left. You look in that general direction, and that's where it's at. Same thing, back right. It's right there. You don't have to be spot on, just know the general area. Let's say they're on their radar, and the radar's pointing this way. You don't want to peek up looking at this escalator because you don't know if somebody's there. You want to get the initial threat who's already shooting already on radar. So like, let's say you're chilling here, you just slid out like this, and you've got a guy on radar, and he's pointed at the back left escalator. So you go ahead, you slide out, you come here right here, you look at that back escalator, scope in, crouch up. Even if you're a little off like I was there, just quickly move your mouse. It's nothing big, it's a quick adjustment, but it helps you out a lot. Another thing with movement is super jumping. I know a lot of people know how to super jump now. If you don't, I have a video tutorial on my channel. However, people don't know when to super jump. Some people super jump just to super jump, and it gets them killed. If you come up here, let's say, and people don't realize when to super jump. Let's say you come up here, you just super jump for no reason, a guy comes around the corner, you can't super jump again. You have to wait a while, there's a cooldown to it. The reason that's an issue is because a lot of people, when they shoot, they expect you to drop shot, right? They expect you, like, let's say they come around, they start shooting at you, you just drop shot it, which a lot of people will do. But let's say you're looking over here and that guy comes out over there and you need to adjust yourself first. Sometimes trying to do that, and if you lay down, you move a lot slower when scoped in compared to when you're standing up. So if you are looking over here and a guy starts shooting at you, you just drop shot and then try to aim, it could be a bit slower. But let's say you didn't waste that super jump, you're looking over here, the guy comes around the corner, you super jump and you can start pre-firing and get a easier snap. People, when they're shooting, especially newer players, they start shooting and you drop shot, it isn't much of an adjustment, right? It's just simple down. If you super jump, they're shooting and they have to go like that. You know what I mean? Like, if they're trying to trace you, it's a very weird movement that a lot of people won't be ready for. Again, if you don't know how to super jump, there's a tutorial on my channel. Just look up Godstatus, how to super jump properly. Next up is using the right guns for the right circumstances. We're gonna pull out the Vector, let's say. The right guns for your playstyle. Pull out the Vector, and let's say you're more of a passive player, and playing passive does help your KD quite a bit. But let's say you're more of a passive player, and you sit back here and you use the Vector. What does that do for you? That means you have to try to auto people all the way down that distance, and that's just not good. Vector is meant for strictly CQC. So let's say you're sitting here, and this is like your playstyle, you don't want to use a Vector for this. Grab an AR, grab a sniper, grab an LMG, maybe even grab a DMR. But do not use a CQC kind of gun like an SMG if you're going to play passive like this. Another major tip I have is team spawning. Team spawning can be very beneficial, but at the same time can be very bad for you. The reason it can be very bad is because when you team spawn, you do not know what you're getting yourself into. When you spawn on that teammate, you don't know who's around him, you don't know if he just killed someone and he gave up his position, you don't know if he's on radar or anything like that. The only thing you would know is if they just came out of combat, you're just able to spawn on them, they definitely know where that teammate is at, you have to be careful. However, let's say you have a teammate who's just dumb and he has no idea what he's doing, and he's just laying right here, and you die and you just quickly hit squad deploy and you just quickly double click on someone, you spawn on him and you instantly fall and you take damage. You're instantly at a disadvantage because of your teammates' mistakes. Let's say you're on like Mirage and you do that and you fall off a crane, not a good thing. Another situation is, and I'm sure this has happened to everybody, how many times have you spawned on a teammate just to instantly die? Let's say they get sniped, let's say some random guy with 600 ping in a melee comes in and kills them, or they just get sprayed down instantly. That's how you get deaths that you don't need. Team spawning can be very beneficial, but team spawning can also be very detrimental to your KD. It isn't worth it a lot of the time. If you really want to get that KD up, try not to team spawn as much, or at least be very selective in when you're doing it and try to pick the right person in the right surrounding. If you're playing King of the Hill Metro in a very active lobby and you have a teammate right here, don't spawn on him. Even if he's laying right here, don't spawn on him because you're going to spawn standing up right in the gunfire of everyone. You have a teammate over here, let's say. You look at him for a second, he's not getting shot at, it's all clear there. Spawn on him and then you can kind of come out here and clear here. But you don't want to spawn on someone sitting right out in the open where you can instantly die. Another tip is not standing still. If you guys haven't realized, especially new players to this game, when they're trying to snipe or something, it takes them forever to line up a shot. If you aren't standing still, they won't hit you. If you watch a lot of good players, they don't really ever stand still. Another major reason for this is because obviously it just makes it harder to hit for ARs as well, but snipers, you would have no idea how many times you're on a high kill streak and you die because of some random like rank 2 with an intervention because you stood still for too long. That's an issue, you want to avoid that. Obviously, if you watch like when I play, I don't really ever stand still much. I'm constantly moving, constantly looking around and trying to figure out what's going on. Overall, just paying attention and constantly moving is good for you. Abuse sliding as much as you can. People don't know that if you run with your knife out, you slide and then stand up and keep running and just keep doing that, you will run faster than just doing this. You go quite a bit faster, and that's basically what you need to do. Be constantly moving, constantly sliding, use a super jump every now and then, especially like let's say you're right here and you have a guy like let's say right here just holding the angle on you. If you just stand up or even crouch up, he's going to be ready for it. Sit here, jump, super jump him. He's not going to be ready for it. All you have to do, press shift, jump, and Z really quickly. and you're right here. It's not that hard. It takes a little bit of practice, but of course anyone can get it. So even if they're like over there, let's say, you just sit here, they're waiting for you, you shift jump Z, and you're up here and they will not expect it. For their point of view, let's say they're looking right here and you do that, they have to go like this. And if they're not that quick, they're not going to be accurate with it at all. And they're going to end up missing all of their shots. My final tip is going to be knowing your own limits. So, for the sake of this, I'm going to use the G36 as an example. G36 is my main gun. I have 96,000 kills on it. I know exactly what I can and can't do with this gun, and I know when I will and when I won't win a gunfight. So, let's say there's someone down here, and I'm on point that day, like I'm warmed up, and I just kind of spray him down. Cool. But I know that I could do that. If you are using a new gun or if you aren't the best player out there, go ahead and take your time and don't pick gunfights that you're not 100% sure you're gonna win. Obviously, there's a lot of gunfights you take and you know you're not gonna win them, but just think about it. If someone's sitting down there pre-aimed on your head with a sniper and you're not really doing much and you don't know how to control the gun and you start spraying like this and you're kind of trying to control it, it's not gonna work out. Pick a gunfight that you know you can win and know your boundaries. If you're not a strong CQC player, don't try to push areas like this. Kind of try to stay on these corners or even staying like this. If you're a very strong CQC player or you know how to use a Tech 9 well, take your Tech 9 out, come back in here, spray down corners, things like that. Use things to your advantage. Don't put yourself in uncomfortable situations. Anyways, I hope that did help you guys. I feel like there might be a few tips in here that not many other YouTubers really talk about. Nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.